Hello, Inderes TV viewers and listeners. I'm interviewing United Bankers CEO Patrick Andersson. United Bankers published its full year 23 result today. Hello, Patrick.
Hello, Sauli.
Hi. So let's jump right into the second half results. I mean, the results was in line with your guidance. Obviously, it was considering the market environment. You did pretty good. So how did you see the second half from a U-based perspective?
Well, it was a strong 6-month period, the strongest one in our 37-year history. The market was not the easiest possible one, but still we saw positive development on most equity and bond markets, forestry market. Real estate was more shaky. We managed to execute our growth strategy well, starting two strategically very important new funds, one in forestry and one in renewable energy. As a whole, I'm quite happy about the end of the year.
If you look at the whole year, obviously the full year result was also good considering the environment. What were the main pros of the year where you feel you really succeeded, and then again, what were the things which you could have done better during the 23? Obviously, there is always something on the both sides.
Well, I'm very happy with the returns we delivered to our investors. In forestry, for example, excellent returns. In wealth management, including equities and debt, very strong returns. That's something I'm very, very happy and proud of. Then I'm very happy about the feedback we got from in different surveys, both from institutional and high net individuals regarding their client experience, for example. The feedback we got on our ESG development from PRI. We got top state-of-the-art scores in the PRI survey. So as a whole, that was very, very promising. And of course, the fact that we were able to partially simplify our business and focus on the core businesses, and then partially grow, or at least with some headwind last year, at least build the cornerstones of growth within our exposure to investors in Central Europe with regards to having the new strategic funds in place, including the teams, everything. So we did a lot of groundwork, so to say. What could have gone better? We could have been stronger in fundraising, but based on the feedback I've gotten during the autumn, I'm not that concerned about that.
Yeah, so basically you could say that the focus was on building the platform for the next growth leap, and at the same time navigating in the fairly difficult market environment. Basically.
Yeah, I mean fully agree. The sentiment in Finland was somewhat more negative than in many other countries in Europe, due to local housing market trouble, due to local stock exchange returns, etc. So I think I'm quite convinced that the sentiment here as well will improve during this year.
What do you feel? I also completely agree that the risk appetite in the Finnish asset management market is fairly low at the moment. What would need to happen that the sentiment to improve and the risk appetite to come back, to get a tad of animal spirit here? Obviously, if you look at the Nasdaq, the animal spirit is alive and well there, but not in here. So what would need to happen? Well,
I mean, the big hike in interest rates, it's the biggest in that short period of time. It's the biggest hike in modern history. Of course, it takes a while to digest that. Now we won't see a 4% higher interest rate during this year. Most likely not. Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
So I mean, time will help us to digest and to get the sentiment back. And of course, if there's any positive development on the war side or regarding inflation, that will, of course, boost and speed up this positive development. But as a whole, I'm not too pessimistic regarding this year.
Yeah, let's really hope that the sentiment improves here. Fundraising outlook. You are currently ramping up 3 major funds: the Forest Industry Green Growth, the Forest Fund 4, and then the Renewable Energy Fund. All are, you could say, flagship funds for you, and you are aiming to raise hundreds and hundreds of millions for each of them. Obviously, the fundraising market from private assets is not the hottest one at the moment. In H2, your fundraising in these funds were mediocre at best, you could say. So how confident are you that you actually can sell simultaneously all of these 3 funds and also raise those hundreds of millions you are looking for?
I am confident. We have excellent investor access. The timeline is, of course, with institutional investors, it takes X months from start to until the decision. So timelines are probably slightly longer than previously. Access-wise, there's less competition, there is less crowd. We have good access to investors, and based on the feedback we get, we're very confident in the fundraising, and that's also the basis for our guidance and quite a neutral to positive stance looking forward.
How do you see the mix of fundraising flows from, if you compare the Finnish investors and then the investors abroad, for example, Central Europe and other Nordics? Where do you see where the fundraising mix how the mix will be?
Very hard to say where it's going to land, but I would say Nordics will have an important role, but Central European institutions might surprise us during this year. Remains to be seen.
Yes. Then guidance, you already mentioned that. I was kind of surprised that you were able to give such a robust outlook already at this stage of the year. You expect your profits to grow, even though we know that this is a cyclical industry, and also you had notable amount of the carried interest on your books in 2023. So what gives you the confidence to state so robust guidance already at this stage of the year?
Well, I mean, we have been growing. Last 5 years have exceeded previous record in both top line and results. So we are a growth company. Why we are confident is based on the outlook and feedback from investors regarding how much will we see inflow into our forestry, renewable energy, and private equity arms.
Yeah. Then finally, on the M&A side, you recently, I think it was in December or November, you mentioned in AM Watch interview that there is a lot more discussion going on in the Finnish asset management space than from a couple of years ago.
You mean M&A-wise?
M&A-wise, yes. So there is a lot more discussion going on. So what is your stance on the M&A? Do you spend more time on these discussions at the moment, and how you feel overall? What is your stance on the M&A in US side?
We are M&A positive. Yes, I use more time than maybe on average during the previous 2-3 years, because there is more discussions than can be related to some evaluation gaps that have disappeared, etc. But for us to become eager and really excited, we need a strategic fit. First of all, it's very important. Then we need the right price and the common vision, how to move forward together. Without the culture, the strategic fit, and a way together forward, including the right price, there's not going to be any transactions where we take part. We don't need to do M&A, but of course it is a way for us to potentially grow fast.
Let's see what will happen in the Finnish asset management space this year and also on your front. Thank you for the interview, Patrick.
Thank you so much, Sauli.